The rapid change education has taken throughout 2020 and into 2021 has left many educators overtaxed. The stress that comes with distance education, worrying if their students are safe and healthy, worrying if their students are feeling connected and keeping up with their learning, all compounded by a global pandemic, has left some teachers with little energy to take care of themselves.
Educational research has for quite a while noted that rates of stress and burnout in teachers is high, in some cases like extremely high. This is all even pre-pandemic. In the last 10, 20 years, there's been a lot of concern about teacher turnover and teacher attrition, and some very good research essentially showing that on the high end, up to 50% of teachers, it's probably more like a third, will leave the profession in the first 5 years.
This is Matt Hirshberg, a postdoctoral research associate at the Center for Healthy Minds, a UW-Madison research institute focused on the science behind emotions, contemplative practices, and the qualities of mind they suspect affect well-being. One study Matt is currently working on is about understanding educator well-being during the COVID-19 pandemic. He says, not surprisingly, that the pandemic is adding to the already stress-laden teachers.
Very few of these teachers have any actual preparation for virtual instruction, right? And it's entirely new. Like most kids have never experienced it. And on top of that, all of the stresses of just we're living through something unprecedented. And if you think about the way human beings are highly social creatures who have evolved in social contexts, and a lot of that is physical. And the idea that we have no physical interaction, like in physical proximity, but it's all mediated through a screen is no, I mean, it's brand new, right? It's never happened before in human history.
Relating to students only through a screen has its fair share of challenges, and that can add on substantially to the stress that many teachers are already feeling. But Matt's study suggests that mindfulness practices may support educator mental well-being.
This study is built again on a sort of foundation of earlier studies looking at training, stress resilience, and well-being in teachers. And most of that research has utilized mindfulness-based interventions, like the ability to notice what's going on both inside our own minds and emotions, and also becoming more attuned and attentive to what's happening, out there, like with other people. Those practices can be super simple. Just, the simplest form is really just to notice breathing. Just to rest the mind on the movement of the breath, the felt sense of breathing in the body. And you can do that for 30 seconds, or you can do that for 30 minutes. And it's, what happens over time when you practice that, kind of naturally, you just feel more at rest and also more centered. Your attention becomes more focused and, more sort of like a sense of equanimity, so you don't get thrown off as much.
Matt shares that another way to practice is to proactively focus your attention on your motivation.
If I was a teacher, I was a middle school teacher, before coming here to do my PhD in educational psychology. Before engaging with students, I would close my eyes and I would just spend a few minutes remembering why I'm doing what I'm doing. And for me, the motivation was really clear. You're really trying to generate or strengthen the feelings of care for kids, for yourself, for your coworkers, empathy, understanding, etc. And a practice like that could be a sort of very classic practice like that is just to bring somebody to mind that you really love and care about, and notice what it feels like to kind of imagine you're in their presence, and then just wish them safety and happiness and health. So that style of practice is sometimes called connection style of practice. And all of it, I think, what it can do is take us out of the stress. This is so hard. I'm too stressed out. I can't do this. And take us more into the feeling of connection with others, or the feeling of resting with just our own self in this moment. And I think all of that ultimately makes us more available.
Besides creating connections to ourselves and our students, these practices can help mitigate the stress you feel on a daily basis.
So much of our stress and anxiety is not actually about what's happening, it's about our concern about what might happen. And so what these practices seem to help people do is sort of just remove that extra layer. which is why before I said we should be realistic. This is a super difficult experience, and meditating or anything else isn't going to make that go away. But what we probably can do is sort of peel off everything unnecessarily added. And I think when you do that, you start to realize, like, yeah, this is stressful, but I can totally manage it, versus this is stressful and I don't know what to do and it's horrible, and getting completely overwhelmed, which is when, we start to get burnt out and anxious and depressed, and, things can really get hard. But the evidence is quite strong that teachers who are involved in a mindfulness-based intervention benefit in various ways. So you see decreased stress, decreased anxiety, decreased depressive symptoms, and you see often increases in more positive sort of qualities associated